So you see right here, you have the nail salon, and it says BYOB, bring your own beverage. Now, it could be bring your own booze, but they could be BYOC, bring your own coffee, because right next door is a Starbucks. And so you can bring in an outside beverage, they're saying. And they're right next door to Bona. And I like Bona. I like all their food. I worked for them, and I enjoyed eating their food. Except for the Atkins crust pizza. It was good, but it had too much sodium. It gave me heartburn. You could only eat a slice or maybe two at the most. It was sausage crust. Instead of, bread crust pizza, it was a meat crust pizza. It was sausage. And it was the Atkins pizza, they called it. But it had too much sodium in the sausage. It gave me a little bit of heartburn. But I'm down here in Streeterville. And you have Chase Bank. And then across the street. And what we don't see down here is a lot of Northern Trust. Here's Wintrust. But do you know Northern Trust is a big bank in the state of Illinois? And they don't have any branches in Chicago. And Northern Trust has all kinds of funds and everything, but they're a bank. And they have no branches in downtown Chicago. They're located in Lake Forest, but Northern Trust doesn't have really any branches around Chicago. I think they have one, and that's where my old CFP teacher used to work. And I think he might have been a CFA too. But anyways, so they're building this new docks on Navy Pier on the backside. So I'm going to drive up by Navy Pier. And again, they have pinstripe bowling here. And I love bowling. And so bowling's a fun sport. You can do bowling on the beach. Truly. And come up with a game. It would be light. It'd have to roll over sand. But you could come up with a beach game where you do bowling. You have pins and so on and so forth. You set it up in the sand. And you can play bowling on the beach. So, I don't know. We used to play football with Nerf footballs on the beach. On regular footballs and that. You play beach volleyball. So, coming up with some more games that you can play in the sand. So, they play beach volleyball, I think, in Top Gun. They're on a beach volleyball team, Maverick and others. So, again, coming up with some more ideas for games to play in the sand on the beach. So, again, we're here taxi and bus lanes on Navy Pier. And so, I would like to ride these bikes. This bike and roll. I mean, Chicago's here. And I don't have a girlfriend. And it would be nice to be able to do something with a girlfriend. I have no friends either. But, again, I like to do stuff. I used to do all kinds of stuff with Jen. It was great because I didn't have to plan for my weekend. I had a girlfriend, and I had somebody that every weekend wanted to do something with me. So I didn't have to worry about, am I going to have somebody to hang out with this weekend, or so on and so forth. I always had somebody to hang out, called Jennifer Kim. But anyways, here's where they're building the new docks. So on the backside of Navy Pier here. So it's going to be interesting, bringing a lot more boat traffic to the pier. And so this should be highly beneficial. And are they going to build out this bus stop? Like, they should have a trolley system here right here that can connect North Pier. It's a short trolley. It takes you from here down and around to North Pier, drops you off at North Pier, picks you up at North Pier, takes you back to Navy Pier, so you don't have to lug shopping bags. Truly, people buy things, and you don't want them, if they get highly intoxicated, stumbling down the street or whatever. And it makes it more convenient for pregnant mothers, so they can go out and do things. Having shuttles and that, pregnant mothers, it's good. Even if they park in the parking garage and you're going to go around the city, those bikes work. Or, taking an Uber here and there, even if you use the park garage, or taking a trolley if you're a pregnant mother. So, again, it's really good for pregnant mothers, and especially pregnant mothers with little kids. So, again, it can be very pregnant mother friendly. And rides like the IMAX, where it does the virtual ride that you don't really move, is good for pregnant mothers. The virtual roller coaster, and IMAX can give you a roller coaster experience and you don't even move. And so you don't have to worry about all that really heavy movement, and a pregnant mother can experience stuff like that. So IMAX experience at Navy Pier is great for pregnant women. But no one thinks about making it pregnant women friendly. Shopping malls, they need to have benches and places to sit down where pregnant mothers can sit down for a little bit and, rest a little bit, take the pressure off the feet. So, again, I think we need to be much more pregnant mother experientially friendly, and having to worry about gunshots and everything else isn't very pregnant woman friendly. Ask the pastor in Indiana whose house got robbed, and the guy shot and killed his wife who was pregnant and killed the unborn baby. So, again, take that story to a bunch of pastors. There was a break in the house, and the guy didn't care it was a pastor, and his wife was home, he wasn't, and the guy shot and killed his pregnant wife. Now, you don't think pastors need to learn self-defense? Or priests need to learn self-defense? How about the priest who got his head cut off in France in front of the whole congregation? So you don't think pastors and priests used to run the Golden Glove boxing. They used to box, like the movie with Mark Wahlberg, and he was a boxer and a priest. Well, again, you don't think they need self-defense. So I think they do. And they put themselves in vulnerable situations, and they need to be able to take care of themselves. So, again, God puts all these tools in front of you and wants you to take advantage of them so you can protect yourself correctly, right? All this wisdom, creating all these systems, they need to take care of them, whether you're a nun or a pastor or a priest or, an elder at a church or a deacon or so on. So again, I think they should, but we need to make things much more pregnant woman friendly. And that means you can't have road rage on the street. And I'm going to put on Facebook how many babies get terminated by car accidents. The mother survives, but the baby doesn't. I'm here by University of Chicago. And my prior post on Facebook, University of Chicago should be all over it because they had a air bubble embolism incident, and they don't want that to ever happen again. So what are they doing to say it will never happen at the University of Chicago again? And I like these guys. Stuart Dean, they do all the cleaning of the exterior of the metals on the building and everything. They do stone, wood, and that. They all over Chicago. And so a lot of buildings need to have their exteriors cleaned. So I like Stuart Dean. I see him all over cleaning and beautifying buildings. So I think they're doing the city a good thing, keeping things beautiful. So, again, we need to be very pregnant women friendly. We can't have gangbangers and cartels and cracked up mothers and alcoholic mothers and all that. We got to stop freaking hurting our children. My mother didn't become an alcoholic until after all 5 children were born. That came because of stress and everything else, but that was later. So